The movie begins in Boston, Massachusetts. 3 enthusiastic business people get ready to go into a meeting. As soon as they walk in, one person falls unconscious. Simultaneously, many people pass out dead throughout the city, and several accidents take place at the same time. Meanwhile, at the University of Chicago, Dr. Josh Keyes is teaching students about sound waves. His lecture is interrupted by 2 men in black suits who insist he come with them. Josh is confused, but agrees anyway. They get him on a jet and bring him to a facility in Washington, where Josh meets his old friend, Dr. Serge Leveque. Serge is a nuclear weapons specialist and was urgently called to the facility. They are taken to a morgue-like place with many dead bodies and are greeted by Lieutenant General Thomas Purcell. The lieutenant informs them that all the dead bodies have the same date and time of death. By the clue, Josh instantly guesses that all of them had pacemakers inserted into their hearts. The duo is here to help them figure out what caused the pacemakers to stop working. The lieutenant assumes that it is the result of an electromagnetic pulse weapon, but Josh assures him that it cannot be possible. Meanwhile, in Trafalgar Square, London, many birds start falling dead on the ground, while others randomly launch at people and buildings. Sometime later, Josh and his coworker friends watch the news about the event on TV. Josh finally realizes that the deaths of the people and the bird attacks might be related to the Earth's magnetic field. He asks his coworker to get a hold of any other similar bizarre events happening around the world. Josh then gets on his computer, hoping that his theory is wrong. Somewhere else, in outer space, Major Rebecca Beck Childs and Commander Bob Iverson are ready to land the space shuttle Endeavour back on Earth. When they enter the atmosphere, a magnetic instability causes them to lose connection with mission control. Then, they notice the shuttle's line of launch is wrong, and it is about to crash land. Beck quickly makes some calculations and changes the course. Following her calculations, they land into the LA River, avoiding any property damage or loss of life. Meanwhile, an Earth specialist named Dr. Conrad Zimsky is approached by Josh. He presents his ideas to Zimsky, who condescendingly asks him to meet at his office. Later, Josh explains about the magnetic field to him, but an arrogant Zimsky claims it to be false. Although Zimsky acted like he didn't care, after Josh leaves, he brings out a secret file and calls Lieutenant Thomas to tell him about the discovery. Meanwhile, Josh and Serge are at a bar talking when they are interrupted by the guards again. They take the duo to a conference where high-ranking officials concerned with the matter are called. Zimsky presents the discovery as his own and asks Josh to explain it to the panel. Josh uses a half-cut peach to represent the Earth and explains that the Earth's inner core has stopped spinning for an unknown reason. This means that the electromagnetic field around the Earth will soon disappear, which will further expose the Earth's surface to unfiltered solar radiation. Josh uses fire and a peach to show what will happen to the Earth in a few months. The lieutenant asks for a solution, and Josh replies that there isn't one. However, Zimsky is adamant about finding a way to restart the planet. The group immediately flies to Utah to meet Dr. Edward Brazzelton. Braz shows them his invention called the ultrasonic lasers, which can create holes in any dense rock. Using this technology, they can create a hole through the ground that will lead them to the Earth's core. Lieutenant Thomas offers Braz all resources he needs to create a ship that will take them to the core. They plan to set off nuclear charges into the Earth's core to induce force that will rotate it again. While inducing the charges is not that difficult, traveling to the core is the team's biggest problem. Somewhere else, FBI agents meet a hacker named Donald "Rat" Finch. They take the man to the lieutenant and the team. Rat has been recruited to control the flow of information on the internet and prevent any information about the mission from being circulated. Meanwhile, Beck and Bob, who managed to land the shuttle safely earlier, are praised for their quick thinking. The lieutenant walks in and assigns the two to accompany Josh, Serge, Zimsky, and Braz on the mission. Some days later, a conference is organized to declare the official initiation of the mission. Beck meets Josh and her team members for the first time. Josh is declared the head of the mission, much to Zimsky's dismay. He starts narrating the preparation period that will go on for the next 3 months. First, Braz and his team of experienced scientists will manufacture the first ever ship that will be capable of reaching the center of our planet. The ship will be a multi-compartment vessel called the Virgil. Zimsky is responsible for calculating the scale of the explosion needed to restart the rotation of the core. Beck and Bob will pilot the ship, while Serge is in charge of initiating the nuclear reaction. 3 months later, the ship is almost ready. The members train and prepare themselves for the mission. During this time, Josh and Beck start to harbor feelings for each other. Before the team can start the mission, an aggressive thunderstorm starts striking the planet's surface, which further pushes back the mission's deadline. The team finally travels to the South Pacific, where the ship Virgil waits for them. They board the ship after getting a green light from mission control, and Virgil finally takes a dive into the Pacific Ocean. They are welcomed by whales swimming alongside them. In no time, the ship reaches the depths. The ultrasonic lasers work their magic, and the ship manages to pierce through the ground. After the first 12 hours, the ship has reached 700 miles below the Earth's surface. They are currently traveling through the mantle and are about to enter the empty space. Apparently, with their 3 months of preparation, this team of the Earth's best scientists had not taken the space into consideration, so they braced themselves for aggressive turbulence. The ship then enters an area full of purple crystals. Unfortunately for the crew, the ship is stopped when one crystal jams the ultrasonic laser. The only way to fix the problem is by going out and removing the crystal manually. Everyone, except for Beck, steps out and is mesmerized by the view. As Braz and Josh cut the crystal that jammed the laser, hot lava starts pouring nearby. Zimsky quickly runs inside the ship, leaving the others by themselves. They finally manage to cut the crystal that was blocking the ship, but Josh runs out of oxygen and falls unconscious in the process. Luckily, Serge manages to save his friend's life and brings him inside. Bob is outside, seeing if the laser still works. Beck turns them on, and the two are delighted when it starts working. However, just then, a crystal falls on Bob and punctures his suit. He falls into the hot lava and dies. Beck freezes in shock, seeing her partner fall into a pit of fire. She quickly composes herself and gets on Bob's seat to restart the ship. Virgil dives into the molten lava, narrowly escaping the falling crystals. Josh regains consciousness and is told about Bob. They mourn their teammate's death and are faced with the harsh reality that they can die at any moment in their mission. It is now the second day since the mission started. Josh, Serge, and Braz are in the weapons compartment when suddenly the ship goes through turbulence. Beck advises the group to get out of there, as they will have to eject the compartment to stop the ship from malfunctioning. The three run outside, but Serge realizes that he left his charges and launch codes in the compartment. Without them, they won't be able to initiate the nuclear reactor. He goes inside the compartment and hands Josh the codes, but is locked there in the process. To save him, Josh asks Beck to override the ejection system, but Zimsky tells her that the whole ship will have to face the consequences. The life of one person should not put the life of humanity in danger. Hearing this, Beck makes the decision to sacrifice Serge. Eventually, Serge is crushed and the compartment is ejected. Josh cries, watching his friend die through the monitor. Sometime later, the mission control sees that Virgil is about to finally enter the Earth's core. When it does, it goes at a higher speed than they had predicted. Beck believes this is a good thing because they can complete the mission sooner, but Zimsky figures out that they will not be able to rotate the core because of the unexpected density. According to him, they should abort the mission and return to the surface, but the group disagrees. Regardless, he informs Mission Control about the situation and tells them they will have to abort. Mission Control puts their backup plan into action. The backup plan is a top-secret project, Destiny, or Deep Earth Seismic Trigger Initiative. The group finds out that Destiny is an old project led by Zimsky. It was intended to be used as a weapon by the US. However, when it was first tested, it caused the core's rotation to stop. Hence, Zimsky and his team were the reason for the chaos all along, but didn't tell anyone to avoid taking accountability. The scientists believe that using the Destiny can restart the core, but according to Josh, it will only destroy the planet further. The lieutenant is ordered to start the Project Destiny and bring Virgil back, but Josh suggests that they continue with the original plan and asks the lieutenant to launch Destiny only if they fail. However, Zimsky retaliates, saying that if they do not get out before Destiny is initiated, they will surely die. On the surface, the lack of an electromagnetic field causes a ripple in the atmosphere. The heat from the sun melts the Golden Gate Bridge and the surrounding area. The team doesn't have long before Project Destiny initiates. Josh manages to contact hacker Rat secretly and tells him to hack into the mainframe and stop Destiny from starting. Josh and Braz try to figure out a way they can restart the core. Zimsky suggests they create a ripple effect by changing the time of detonations. They are relieved to see the simulation of the process is a success, but the group knows that the execution will not be as easy. After reaching 2,600 miles inside the surface, they finally enter the innermost core. Zimsky suggests they eject each compartment with the nuclear war force, but they will have to modify the ship's gear to make it possible. The only problem is that to modify the gear, someone will have to go inside a tiny compartment where the temperature is extremely high. Basically, whoever goes in will definitely die. They draw straws to decide who will do the task. Braz gets the short straw and accepts his fate. He wears a suit and hugs his members goodbye before going into the compartment. The temperature is extremely high, but Braz's suit protects him temporarily. He successfully modifies the compartment and completes the mission, but unfortunately dies in the process. The group does not have time to mourn his death. Then, Zimsky and Josh take the nuclear weapons to each compartment for them to be ejected. Back on the surface, the Destiny project is stopped when Rat hacks the project's simulator. In Virgil, 2 of the compartments are successfully ejected, but when they are at the third one, turbulence hits. The weapon rolls over Zimsky's legs, trapping him in the compartment. He asks Josh to run away as he stays behind, waiting for his death. Josh finally completes the mission of ejecting the weapons. Suddenly, the ship stops working, and Josh and Beck sit together, awaiting their last moment. But just then, Josh tells Beck that they can use the heat from the core to restart the ship. Zimsky, who is still alive in the compartment, laughs hysterically as the explosion goes off. The series of explosions cause the core to spin again. The mission has finally been completed, and the world is saved. However, Josh and Beck still struggle to save their own lives. They finally manage to restart the ship using the heat from the core, and they kiss in joy. Virgil makes its way to the surface at high speed. However, once they reach the surface, the mission loses its connection with the ship. They see its location and figure it is landing somewhere near Hawaii. When the ship reaches the bottom of the ocean, it stops because of the lack of heat to fuel it. Beck and Josh can do nothing but wait for help. Many ships are sent to look for the two, but they find no signs of the ship. Just then, they catch the sound created by whales surrounding the ship. Using the whale, they navigate the ship and rescue the duo. It is now a week later, Rat in a cafe inserting a CD into his laptop. He plans to share the whole mission and the crew's bravery with the world. The crew's sacrifice did not go in vain, as people will remember them as heroes who saved the planet Earth. Subscribe for more videos like this, turn on notifications, and leave a like to help the channel out. Thank you for watching.